Welcome back to Jackfruit Radio. We're live on location at the French Baker Clark SM Mall. Today we're going to talk about property, mostly about the legal side, but we need to touch on the legal, and then we'll finish up with your search for land. What are you looking for? Okay, stay tuned. Good afternoon.
May hapon.
So, first thing we're going to cover off, guys, is the legal stuff. And the reason I want to cover the legal off first is you got to get a pen and paper. It's important to get some of this stuff done. So Lynn's got her glasses on, she's got notes, make sure she can get through everything. But remember, paperwork, intergovernment paperwork is very, very slow here.
Yeah.
So if your objective is like ours, you've done the stuff with the lawyer, yippee, you own the land, you don't own the land. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's not like you can start work immediately, okay? So we'll go through the building permit stuff and stuff soon. That'll be the next episode. But in part 2 here, we're going to talk about the legal and property searching. So over to Lynn.
Yeah. So when we purchased the land while we were at the lawyer's office, we asked the lawyer to process everything, all the paperwork after the signing of the deed of sale. We asked the lawyer to process everything because we are not living in Cebu. So what happened was, during that time, he gave us he gave us a document to sign the special power of attorney for him and his secretary to process the paperwork in the BIR, because that's how it is done when you purchase a land. And then because of the what do you call this one, you cannot go into the municipal office and ask for the copy of tax declaration or other papers from the seller.
I'll just jump in quickly here. This is something on this list, and we're going to put it in the notes for this one. It's something that you make sure that the realtor or the agent is got done, okay? Because this is what really slowed us up. They don't want to go and get their tax declaration. They don't want to get survey drawings and any of that type of stuff until they know they've got a sure buyer.
Yeah, because it takes funds out of their pocket, and they don't want to spend that. What happens to us, because we are interested in the land, we told them that we have to survey the land because the land was actually not surveyed. So they said, okay, let's just do a 50-50 share of the cost of the survey. And then so we both parties agreed to do the survey. And then it is already under my name, because they said, if you're really interested, then we will put all the paperwork, the survey paper will be under your name so that you won't have a problem in the future. So I agree with it. And then we bring that survey paper and all into the lawyer, and then the lawyer made us sign for the deed of absolute sale, and he gave us a document to sign, the special power of attorney for them to process all the document that we are supposed to be processing. So after that,
okay, let me jump in again.
Yeah.
Sometimes the seller needs an SPA. The seller might be one family member, but a whole bunch of people on the tax declaration document. So you make sure that other things, like everybody that's involved in this, that's on title, or as we would call it in Canada, on title, make sure that somebody has a power of attorney to act on behalf of all of those people. Okay?
Right. And so what happened with that, because after the signing of the deed of sale, the lawyer still needs paperwork from the owner. he gave an SPA to the owner's nephew because he cannot process it on his own because he is living away from that lot that he is selling. He lives in a different town, so he has to get that one because the lawyer cannot get that one. Otherwise, the seller himself will get it from the municipal office where the lot is located. And then one thing also that you have to make sure, especially if you're a Filipina and your spouse is a foreigner, technically the foreigner cannot own the land here in the Philippines. You can only buy a condo, an apartment, but not a land. So even if you are married to a Filipina, you cannot still own anything. But I made sure with my lawyer to put everything in my tax declaration, in the deed of sale, everything that my name, and then married to the name of my husband, to make sure that both of your name reflects in the ownership of that particular lot. He is my direct beneficiary in case what will happen to me, the land is his, or whatever property on the land is built, it's his when I'm gone or whatsoever. And then after the signing of the deed of sale, the lawyer on behalf of us will process all the documents in the Bureau of Internal Revenue about taxation. And so what they get from the BIR is the certificate authorizing registration, which is registering my name under that particular lot. And then still below the paper above is my name, telling, representing us, the buyer or the new owner. And then below is the certificate with the remarks, the buyer, it says the name of my husband.
So to add to that, guys, I know that some vloggers out there have mentioned this before, so I'll just mention it in passing. You can check with your lawyer on it. But it can be important, not must be important, but can be important, stating that her will, her last will and testament, on the property can only be triggered upon my death. So if Lynn were to pass before me, she's younger than me, but aged, if she were to pass before me, I still have the right to use the land free and clear of any interference from people that she has in her will that would receive the land in the long term.
So after, the certificate authorizing registration from the BIR takes actually a longer time, actually like maybe 1 month, because we've signed the DOAS or the deed of absolute sale on December 16, and then that was the day Odette typhoon hits Cebu.
Our concern was that the paperwork itself to get to the small little municipality of San Remijo, it can take way longer than a month.
Right.
We've heard stories of up to a year.
As long as we have the deed of absolute sale and the tax declaration under the previous owner's name, we are good to go to start the build.
We had to go get another legal form from the owner.
That's right.
Because we didn't have the right to build on that property.
That's right.
He still has the legal right to restrict your ability to build, even though you've got an absolute deed of sale.
And this is the one thing that we forgot to ask during the signing of the deed of sale, because I wanted everything to be taken out from the seller, all the paperwork to be taken out from the seller, because we have all this bad reputation before of our friends buying properties, and then they went back into the seller and asked for this kind of documents, and the seller is asking more money, and I don't want that to happen to me. So
and we got lucky, this guy didn't ask for more money.
Right. So one thing, when we start the build, our architect asked us, "Ma'am, you don't have the tax declaration under your name yet?" And I said, "No, because that's not gonna happen in just 1 month after the signing of, after the selling of that properties, buying that property." So what he did, okay, you just ask for an affidavit of consent to build.
The city won't give you a permit because from their paperwork perspective, even though you've got an absolute deed of sale,
You are
from
still
their
not
paperwork
allowed.
standpoint, you're not on the tax declaration yet.
Yeah, so you're not the owner of the land yet. So that's one thing that I want you guys to remember when you do the signing of the deed of sale. If you want to build right away, get the affidavit of consent, because that
Get it anyway.
next week all the clearances and the tax declaration will under my name will start to be processed in the municipal level of San Remigio.
I kind of failed in many ways. What I should have done was be real clear to the lawyer what our entire purpose was and our time frame. Had we done that,
Right.
then as soon as we were in front of the lawyer would have said, look, I've produced this form
Yeah.
because you're going to need this.
Yeah,
Right? But like anything else, I should have followed up a little bit more, but again, language barriers and stuff like
yeah.
that. And that's why we do these videos, so that you guys can hopefully not
Learn.
make the pitfalls that we ran into.
Learn something from us.
Any last minute
Makes
things,
sense.
Lynn?
None so far, but for the building permit, you only need the affidavit of consent if you want to build right away, because who knows, the seller might move to other place or move to another country, then you lost that chance. So you only need the affidavit of consent, tax declaration of the owner, meaning the seller, and then the deed of absolute sale, which
Right.
given by the lawyer. So that's all you need.
But please stay tuned for part 2A of the legal side and searching for property.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Talk to you soon, guys.
See ya.
Bye now.